Igor's Morbid Cooking Lessons. Ah!
The following program is a public access production. Comcast is required to provide time on this channel and make it available pursuant to franchise agreements with the communities we serve. Comcast is not affiliated with the following program or the producers of public access programming and is not responsible for the content. The following program does not reflect the opinions of Comcast or its affiliates.
Hello everybody, it's Igor, right here in my dungeon, bringing you some of the Igor's morbid cooking tips. So you stay tuned for a minute and we're going to take care of some questions that you might have about some cooking things. Matter of fact, today we're going to be talking about bread. So if you have any questions about bread, hopefully these will be the ones that you've been asking about, and we can answer them for you. Cooking is a fun thing to do, so you want to hang out with us from time to time and check out our cooking, and maybe you learn some things along the way. Today, one of the first things to do, when you are cooking your bread, no matter what kind of bread it is, it doesn't matter, put a little bowl of water in the bottom of the oven as you're cooking, and the moisture will help to seep out and get on the bread, and your bread, well, it won't dry out, and also it will nice and golden. It won't turn dark and get crispy and dark and things like that. It'll stay nice and moist. So it's a good tip right there. When you are putting your covering coating inside of your pan, you want to use shortening to grease the pan with. You don't want to use oil or butter or oleo, things like that. Butter is okay, but shortening is best.
Oh,
when you put that in there, your bread will pop out a lot easier because the oil and stuff, it soaks into the bread more and then it will stick to the pan. So that's not good. You don't want to do that. If you are making biscuits, what you want to do to make some nice even biscuits is when you get your dough and you spread your dough out, use a metal divider piece from ice tray. If you use for ice trays, and you can get those anywhere that you can get regular cooking stuff, and take the ice tray divider out and you can press that into the dough and all of your biscuits will come out with the same size. It's a lot easier to do, or you can use a small cookie cutter and use the same one, but with a ice cube sheet, you're cutting a lot of them at one time. So you want to do that. If you're using a glass pan, if your bread pans are glass, then you want to reduce your oven temperature by 25 degrees.
I ate that cookie, Captain Jim.
25 degrees. And the reason to do that is because the glass gets a lot hotter, and it will stay hotter than the metal pan and will cook a little bit faster. If you leave it in there, then you will mess up your bread recipe. So you want to lower that temperature down and keep it a little more manageable. That's the way you want to do it. When you're kneading your dough, another thing too, you don't want to overwork your dough. You don't want to knead it so much and add flour to it a lot and things like that. Because then if you over-knead it and overwork your dough, your bread, yes, will come out tougher or drier than you would want it to be. So just knead it just enough to when you get that elastic texture, texticity, whatever you want to call it, and then make your biscuits, or your bread, or your dough, or your...
Give it up.
Oh, sorry. Okay. If you're making a dense bread, like with lots of, grains in it and things like that, or if you're making like a nut bread with lots of nuts, or like banana bread, or zucchini nut bread, things like that, you want to let the bread, when it comes out, set for a day, for 24 hours or so, before you use it, so that all of the grains and nuts and all the things in there and stuff will absorb those flavors, and everything will taste much better if you let it set for a while before you cut it and use it. So there's a whole lot of things about bread. It's fun to do, fun to make, and hopefully you will jump on board the bread wagon and do some things with us there. It's a lot of fun, and we just want you to have fun in the kitchen when you're cooking. So this is Igor right here on Channel 17 Comcast of Waukegan, Illinois. We are on Thursday nights at 10:30. So check us out. We got information scrolling across the screen, which you probably already noticed because it's been there for a minute or so. So check us out. Come on board and hang out with Igor and his morbid cooking lessons. Hello everybody, this is Igor, and we're here at the dungeon doing some cooking tips for you today. Hanging out right here. It's shown Waukegan and Comcast Channel 17 on Wednesday nights at 10:30 at night. And you can check me out doing our full show of how to cook. And we do actual cooking right here while we show you movies and little vignettes and little cool things. So check us out. Right now, though, we are coming to you from Edgar Winter's show. And we like to say a shout out to Edgar Winter and to all of his crew and staff and everybody there. So hello and everybody watching from Igor and my staff and my crew. So hi. Anyways, today we're going to talk a little bit about gas grilling and charcoal grilling and things like that, because it's now getting out of winter pretty soon. March is coming up, and April and all that, and everybody going to be breaking out their grills. So here's a few things that you might want to hang out and learn about doing with gas grills and with charcoal grills. And with a gas grill, the nice thing about the gas grill, of course, is that the entire cooking surface is an even surface. It cooks the same anywhere on there. There's no highs and low points. Sometimes there's like little shelves that you can get away from the heat and to keep things warmer and things. But your cooking surface stays the same. Now with a charcoal grill, you can actually build your charcoal higher or lower in areas of your grill to get hotter and milder areas of cooking. So the hotter you want an area to go, then you can do that with your charcoal or your wood chips, whatever you're using to cook with. When you're cooking meat, steaks or chops, whatever, you want to marinate your meat or your chops or whatever for 24 hours. Always marinate your meat because it makes the meat much more easy, nicer to cook.
Give it up.
And it always comes out more flavorful when you marinate. And makes them juicier and stuff. So you always want to marinate when you do that, when you do cooking on the grill, and even when you're cooking inside, it's good to marinate your meats and such. When you take it out of the refrigerator from marinating, you want to let it stand for about an hour or so to get to room temperature, because it will cook better when it is room temperature. Just so you know that. I don't know if you know that or not, but if you don't know it, you do now. Anyways, so when you're cooking fish on the grill, you always want to use a spatula and never tongs, because if you use tongs, you'll be squeezing the fish and it'll be coming apart and falling apart on you and all. You don't want. You use a spatula to do that. With fish, when you're cooking it, we have what's called a 3-second rule.
Yeah.
And what you do is you place your hand above the heat,
Yeah.
a few inches above the heat, like so.
Yeah.
If you can hold your hand there for 3 seconds
Yeah.
without having to take it away because it's hot,
Yeah.
then if you can leave it there for 3 seconds, it's just about right. If you leave it longer than 3 seconds, it's not hot enough. And if you put your hand there and you're like, oh, I can't do that, it's too hot. So that's a little bit the way to find out whether or not that's called the 3-second rule. And it actually works well. So remember that. Just don't burn yourself trying to, I can do it, I'm a man, honey. Don't do that. Okay, so anyways, try that out with your fish like your tuna and your mahi-mahi and your swordfish. These are really good fish to use on the grill because they are firm fish and they are, you know, good chunk fish that you can cook on the grill without having any problems with. When you get down to your trout and your cod, your tuna, things like that, your lighter stuff like that, bass that flake, then you want to use leave the skin on and cook with the skin on it, because otherwise when you go to pick it up to turn it, and it's going to all fall apart in your grill. And believe me, your grill's not really that hungry, so you want to do that. So and always squeeze a little lemon juice on there, gives it a little more, you know, acidity, cooks really nice, gives it a little flavor, and it also keeps the color nice on the fish as well. So that's pretty much, you know, what we're going to, what to tell you a little bit about today. You know, I was actually on a fish diet for a while, and that's what I was eating was fish, baked and broiled and whatever on fish and stuff. But you know what, when I'm on a diet, I get drained, I get so tired all the time. So I went to my doctor, I'm like, doctor, why am I so tired all the time on this diet? He says, I don't know. He says, I'll give you some pep pills to keep you pepped up. But the only problem is now I just eat faster.
Give it up.
Anyway, this is Igor, and we are here with you doing cooking tips as we do from time to time. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you learned something. We hope you will use this when you're doing your cooking and stuff. Watch our shows and hang out with us as much as you can. Cooking is fun and it should be enjoyed. So we'll talk to you soon. This is Igor, and scare you soon. Hello everybody, it's Igor here, your morbid cooking man for Igor's Morbid Cooking Lessons. Today is going to be Igor's cooking tips, a little vignette for you, little snippet coming from cable office here to send you some good cooking tips. We're going to cover a lot of different area today. Today we're going to start with eggs. Okay, because, you know, everybody uses eggs, and eggs are in everything. We're eating a lot of eggs, I know. Eggs are good for you, but you don't want to eat a lot of them because of cholesterol and everything. But eggs are an everyday thing. So, if you want to find out if an egg is good or not, if they've been in your fridge or you don't know or whatever, what you can do is put a big bowl of cold water out.
Yeah.
And it's got to be cold water.
Yeah.
Put eggs in the water.
Yeah.
And if the egg floats,
Yeah.
it's no good. No, I said it's no good. Okay. So that's the easiest way to do that. So, if you are cutting onions, and this is, oh, I know we're changing subjects. So, yeah, if you're cutting onions and you get that oniony smell on your hands,
You malodorous menace.
I'd be cutting something. Anyways, use a lemon juice or fresh lemon, either way, and rub it in your hands and stuff. Will get rid of all that smell right away. So that's a good tip for you to do. If you want to use making mashed potatoes, if you're doing that, and you want to make your mashed potatoes extra creamier, you can use a little sour cream. You can use a little more, a little regular cream or milk. Or you can actually add mayonnaise to your mashed potatoes to make them nice and fluffy and creamy and everything else. But also, if you put a little vinegar in there, or a little lemon juice in there, it will keep your potatoes white, nice and bright white. So that will help to keep the potatoes vibrant color. Very good for you. But whatever you do, you don't want to get the vinegar in your ear, because that would not be good if you get the vinegar in your ear, because then you would develop this thing called pickled herring.
You're funny.
Okay, so anyways, but if you want to, the nice way to cut an onion, of course, everybody knows you take and you cut the onion in half, and then you chop vertical cuts, then you chop a couple of horizontal cuts, and then you cut across, and it will dice it nice and crispy. But now, if you want to do the cutting even better, and if your onion is a little older, it would be more juicy and would make you cry a lot.
No help
You
there.
don't want to cry a lot. You know, you want to go cry a lot, go watch Lifetime. Anyways, put your onion in the freezer for about 10 minutes or so. And then you can cut it, and it will be less juicier and less fumes, so less crying. Okay? That's the way to do that. And if you're cutting meat, like a steak or whatever, and you want to cut it thin, and you're trying to cut thin slices on your meat, put your meat after it's been cooked and it's ready to be cut, or you can do it before you cut it, before it's ready to be cooked. Actually, it's better if you wait until it's, it's raw.
Later.
Put it in the freezer for about half hour.
Gag.
When it comes out, then you cut it up, and your knife will go through it much better, because it's frozen, it's harder, and it's more dense, easier to cut through your knife.
Oh, yeah.
And also when you're cooking vegetables.
Chocolate chip.
No, vegetables.
Chocolate chip.
Vegetables. Like broccoli, cabbage, cauliflowers, asparagus. Ones that give off a pungent odor.
Drat.
What you want to do is put a little vinegar into your water as you're cooking it, and that will cut down on the smell.
Oh, yeah.
We're covering lots of vinegar stuff today. I should have just called this the vinegar day, but that's okay. Also, what you might want to do is when you're cooking greens, like collard greens or mustard greens or whatever greens or greensy greens or
Give it up.
even green beans, things like that. Put in a lump of sugar into your water as you're cooking, and that will keep your colors very bright. And all this talk about food, man, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm going on a diet. I'm starting a diet. It's called Aerobics Anonymous.
Oh, yeah.
What? Yes, Aerobics Anonymous.
Drat.
Aerobics Anonymous. Every time I get the urge to exercise, I call up a few people on the phone, and they rush over with a couple of pizzas and a six-pack and talk me out of it. Anyways, this is Igor, and here with Morbid Cooking Tips. We hope you learned a lot of stuff about this today. We hope you have a great time. We hope you cook lots and lots of stuff, and that you enjoy doing it when you're doing it. Keep watching us, and scare you soon. Hello everybody, it's Igor, and we are here today for Morbid Cooking Tips of all about pasta. We are going to be discussing pasta today. So, if you are not sure about how to cook pasta, if your pasta always turns out kind of weird and, icky kind of poo and whatever.
I can't take this any longer.
Hopefully this is going to help you out on how to make it right. Yes. And, okay, so what we're going to do first off is we're going to tell you that when you cook pasta, you should get a 7-quart or bigger pot and put 5 quarts
No help there.
of water per pound of pasta. Now, not a lot of people cook more than a pound or so at a time anyways, but
Yeah.
if you're going to cook 2 pounds or more at a time, you need a bigger pot. You need 5 quarts of water per pot. Always add salt to the water.
Yeah.
Always, because you want your pasta to come out with a little bit of that texture to it, and you want to bring out the flavor of the pasta, and salt brings out the flavor of the pasta. Also, if you put a little bit of oil in,
Yeah.
and I'm not talking a cup or something like that, just put in maybe a tablespoon or 2 of oil in there, and when you put the pasta in to the water, it will hit that oil a little bit, and it'll move around and things, and your pasta won't stick as much.
No help
So
there.
that's an idea that you might want to hang on to, because it works very, very well. Now, what you want to do is you want to bring your water to a boil first. Don't just throw everything in and turn it on and wait and wait and wait. No, put the water in and then wait. When it boils, and then you put your salt and your oil in there first. But then when it boils, then you add your pasta and bring it back to a boil again. And you count your minutes down. Read the package first and see what they tell you to do, because some pastas are denser or thicker, and they may want like 7 or 8 minutes to cook, but usually a pasta is 5 to 7 minutes.
No help
and
there.
That will bring it up to al dente. And of course, al dente, well, it just means that it's ready to be eaten.
Give it
ready
up.
to, well, that's not the exact translation.
Yeah.
I think it's more like firm, I think. Something like that. Anyways, look it up online. Google it. Because, you know, I don't have to be perfect about this. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what it is. But no, al dente means firm, ready to go. If you leave it in and you want your pasta to be a little softer, sometimes people like spaghetti a little softer. Sometimes people like their lasagna noodles to be softer. Leave it in for an extra minute, but not too much longer than that, or it'll get all fall aparty and all that. It'll be yes, fall aparty is a word. No, yes it is. Okay, also, when a pasta is done, dump it through a strainer and get all that boiling water out. Fill your pot up with warm water and put your pasta back in it. This will stop the cooking process. Or when it's in the strainer, you can run warm or cold water over the pasta. That will stop your cooking process. Because if you just turn it off in the boiling water and let it stop and whatever, that water's still going to be hot for a long time, and it's still going to cook your noodles.
No help there.
You want to right away, when it gets to that point, strain it, cool it down, put it back, and then let it go.
Corn on the cob.
That is the best way to do it. Yeah, basically, these are mostly the things that you need to know about pasta. Always reading the package to make sure that you're cooking it for the right amount of time. And, you know, do it to your flavor, to your taste, of course. But, you know, do what you got to do. You know? And then you got a lot of pasta left over for other dinners and stuff. You'll have leftovers. And speaking of leftovers, my wife, Ilyanush, she made the leftovers so many times, and we've been together for a long time. She makes leftovers. All it is always, oh, we're having leftovers. To this day, I have never found the original dish.
It's terrible.
So anyways, folks, we are going to let you go at this point. Check Igor's Morbid Cooking Lessons out on cable Comcast Channel 17 on Waukegan Station, Waukegan, Illinois. It is, we air on Thursday nights at 10:30, and we bring you all kinds of cool cooking stuff with movies and programming and lots of fun stuff that we throw in there just for the heck of it, because we can. And we also do interview shows with this other people called Two Big Productions. So right there at the bottom of your screen is all that stuff. Have a great time. Follow our tips and have a great time cooking. Cook your little pants off. And stay tuned. Scary soon. Hello everybody, it's Igor again right here with you for Igor's Cooking Tips. And today we have a nice little session for you. As you know very well that this is Super Bowl weekend. It is coming up here. And for Super Bowl, I know everybody's going to be having a party of some kind or another. So, we're going to go over a couple of really cool little appetite snacks that you can put together. Very simple for your Super Bowl party. First off, one of the really cool things that you can do is a cheese melt that has ground beef in it. Now, I call this my taco cheese melt dip. And what you do is you get the Velveeta cheese and you melt that in a pot. And then at the same time, you buy some ground beef and ground pork and you mix it all together. You put in a packet of the taco seasoning into it. And if you want to spruce it up, you can put some hot sauce in there, buffalo sauce, or whatever you prefer to put in for a hot sauce in there.
Corn on the cob.
To make it a little spicier. Finely dice some onions into it, and mix that all together with the ground beef, and then put the ground beef into the cheese. Now you want to do about a pound of cheese and about 3/4 pound of your ground beef mixture. Put that in, mix it all up, and let it set in that on heat. and then dip your chips into it. It's very good. Okay, another thing that you can do, this is very cool. You can take your favorite coleslaw recipe, which is basically some cabbage and carrots and stuff finely chopped up, and you put in some mayo or a salad dressing of your choice or whatever to make your favorite coleslaw, but add in broccoli and cauliflower to it.
Corn on the cob?
Yes, I know it sounds weird, but oh, I tell you what, it gives a very good texture to your coleslaw, and the flavor is just wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, so that's another one really good. You can do a nice slider, which is, you know, a little bit of ground beef here, and you can put when you put your ground beef out, mix some chopped onions into it, some panko breadcrumbs to give it a little bit pull on that moisture. You can throw in a package of, I like to put in a little sloppy Joe mix into it. I know it sounds a little odd, but I like to do that in with the mixture, and then you cook that up and make your sliders out of that, and you know, put some cheese on there, whatever you want to do. Some chili powder if you want to use chili powder instead of the barbecue sloppy Joe mix. You can use chili powder, or you can use a little of both. But I tell you what, they taste very, very good, so you might want to try that. Or you can take and stuff the burger with cheese, and that you take a little bit of the ground beef that you make, mix with pork or whatever. Or you can even, this is really good, if you have a food processor, you can put bacon in your food processor and ground the bacon up and mix bacon with the hamburger, so you have a real bacon burger. Yeah, and then you take the burger out, put the nice flat piece on your together here, then you fold in your cheese on top, then you put another patty on top of the meat, and then you press the edges of it around, so you're sealing the cheese inside. And when you cook it, then the cheese melts inside there. So a lot of places call this a Juicy Lucy, and it's a famous burger, but that's the easy way to do it right there, and you can make it right in your own home. It's very, very good. Also, you can get the little potatoes, the small red potatoes, or you can get little baby potatoes, cut them in half. Well, cook them first, I'm sorry, you cook them first.
It's terrible.
And then you cut them in half, and you scoop out the potato insides and keep them separate. Then you take and you bake the skins in your oven for about 25-30 minutes until they are crisp. While you're doing that, you take your mashed potato, your potato innards, and you mash them up, and you can add anything that you want to them.
Corn on the cob?
Put a little cream cheese in there, put a little sour cream maybe, a little milk, and you know, match them all up and stuff like that. Throw in some cheese, some chives, and mix them all up, and then when those come out, you can fill your potato skins with that, put a little more cheese in there, throw them back in the oven, bake them up till the cheese melts, and ooh, not only that, but they kind of look a little bit like a little bitty footballs too. So that's really good. Then you know, actually, yesterday, this was before now all of the players. Now there's down to 2 teams in the Super Bowl, but the New York Jets were in my backyard playing football yesterday. I'm like, what are you doing there? So in order to get rid of them, I put up a goalpost.
This is odd.
I know, it's good, it's good. But anyways, so you can do this for your Super Bowl party and invite your guests over, have lots of fun, party your pants off. Usually say so. Anyways, you know what the difference between the Dallas Cowboys and the dollar bill? Yes, with a dollar bill you still get 4 good quarters. Anyways, this is Igor here. We are doing a little Super Bowl fun for you today, and we hope you enjoyed Igor's cooking tips. Watch us with the information that you've been seeing scrolling down below, and check us out at Comcast in Waukegan, Illinois on Thursday nights at 10:30. I'm Igor, and we'll see you later. Scary you soon. Hello everybody, it's Igor here, and we're here today with our Morbid cooking tips, and we are going to be doing a little bit of explaining a little bit about knives.
This
and,
is odd.
What the easiest way of getting knives, get the right knives for you, and what their uses and stuff.
Terrible.
So, when you're going to a knife shop,
What's that?
your best bet to go is to a place where they sell high-end cooking utensils, cooking stuff, pots, pans, things like a crate and barrel kind of place.
You're funny.
Or a really high-end place like that is where you want to get your knives at. The best knives, if you read your packaging and look into this, the best knives are made in Germany, France, Sheffield, England, and then there's a place called Seki City in Japan. And they make the best knives in the entire world. So those are the places you want to really look to see if they're made there. Now, this is if you're going to be paying top dollar for your knife. And if you're a serious chef, you want to put some serious money out on 2 or 3 knives. And I tell you, the 2 knives that you really need the most to start out are a 8 to 10 inch chef knife.
Wrongful ruin.
And that would be something like this, a 8 to 10 inch chef knife. This is very good. What you do is for chopping your vegetables, cutting anything that you are working on to cut, to cook with, for cutting meats, things like that. Is all you need like that. You can go with a smaller, this is like a 6-inch knife for smaller stuff. Once you get your 10-inch or 8-inch knife, then you can go ahead and get a smaller one for cutting smaller things. Igor uses this a lot, and you'll notice this one on the show. This is a ceramic blade knife from Japan, and it works very, very nicely. Now, the next knife that you're going to need is called a paring knife. A paring knife is a little short knife like this here. It's very sharp, very nice, and these are used for coring things and cutting smaller things, like you're using for your tomatoes, and you take your cores out of the tomatoes and things like that. And this comes in very handy for cutting delicate work. So this is a very nice knife here, is the paring knife. What you want to do is, what you're preparing to do is you're going to pay $50 or to $100, maybe even more for knives like that. But I tell you what, once you get a knife that you like, and you pay that kind of money for that, that knife is going to last you forever. And it's very good for doing what you have to do. You don't want to buy a knife set, because when you're buying a knife set and you're getting like, they say, 10 knives and you get everything you'll ever need, half of those knives you're never even going to use. You're not going to need them. They're not going to come in handy. You're going to need 2 to 3 knives. Now, your third knife is an option knife, is a serrated knife, which has the serrated edge on it. Now, this is for cutting breads and things like that. And it comes in handy doing that, because if you use a regular knife like this, you're going to crush the bread. You want to be able to like saw through things. So if you want to do something like that, you need a serrated knife, and that's your next knife there. You also would like to get a block to put the knives into a block for safekeeping. Or you want to get a magnetic strip, which you can put on your counter and just hang the knives on a magnetic strip. It's very easy to store those that way, and very easy to get to them when you need them. You just reach over and, I've got me a knife.
That caloric culprit has got something cooking.
Scare the little children. So anyways, always hand wash your knives. Always hand wash your knives. And make sure they're nice that way, and you always hand sharpen them too, and you can get your own sharpeners for it to do your own sharpening, and it's very easy to do. So these are what you need when you do your knifing, and get your kitchen ready to go for your serious cooking lessons for sharpening knives and having your own knife collection. I just want to say it was very nice hanging out with you today, and I hope you get the point with the knives. I know, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Okay, so anyways, folks, this is Igor with Morbid Cooking Tips with you today from Comcast in Waukegan, Illinois. Our show is every Thursday night at 10:30 on Comcast Channel 17. Information has been scrolling around at the bottom, so come join us for our show, and we hope to see you soon and scare you soon. Hello everybody, it's Igor. And once again we are here with you for Igor's Morbid Cooking Tips. We've come to you on Comcast channel 17 on Thursday nights at 10:30 here in Waukegan, Illinois. And you'll probably be seeing us every now and then with Edgar Winter with his group. And I want to say shout out hello to Edgar and his crew. And of course to everybody watching in Wisconsin. Hello.
That caloric culprit has got something cooking.
Tonight we are going to be working with a new technique of cooking bacon with water. Now I know most people, they will put oil in their pan and put the bacon and cook it up and do it that way, but no, it's extra oil. You don't need that.
This is terrible.
What we're going to do is cut the bacon into your regular strips, or peel off your regular strips and put it into your pan. Then what you do is you put water in the pan, just enough to even out and cover just the top of the bacon. You don't do, not boiling it or anything. You're just putting a little bit on top, and then you put that on high heat on your stove. And you let that water will evaporate down, and as it does that, the fat will render from the bacon and go into that water. And it will cook out that way. You will once the water has dissipated and you get down to that point, you'll hear a hissing and popping, and it will start to cook out real nicely. Then you take and you lower your temperature down to medium.
This is terrible.
And, what? Yes, I said medium. And then when you do that, then you let it go until it cooks out and it becomes very nice, very crispy. You have no extra grease, and it's wonderful tasting bacon. It's just wonderful. You have to try it because it works really well. So that is a wonderful technique for cooking bacon and saving yourself the extra calories of adding all that extra oil and everything else. Tastes wonderful, tastes great, and it's wonderful for when you have friends over for dinner. You can make bacon and cook it up nicely and get it crispy. Matter of fact, my friends were over for dinner the other night, and we had these really nice bacon dinner, and it was a burger with bacon wrapped and everything. It was very nice and stuff. Well, came time to do the dessert. And so my wife made these nice pie, and so she's out at the table next to the dinner table cutting the pie, and she put the piece on the plate and handed it to me, and of course I handed it off to the next person and so on, and she handed me another piece, and so I handed it off and it went to the next person, and she handed me, and so on and so forth. Finally she turned and she looked at me and she goes, Igor, the pieces aren't going to get any bigger.
This is terrible.
So anyways, hope you enjoyed the show. A little tip for you on bacon cooking, and we will see you very soon. Check us out on our show in Waukegan on Comcast, and have a great time. And do some cooking for yourself. We will see you next time. Scare you soon. Hello everybody, this is Igor, and we're here at the dungeon doing some cooking tips for you today. Hanging out right here. It's shown Waukegan and Comcast Channel 17 on Wednesday nights at 10:30 at night. And you can check me out doing our full show of how to cook. And we do actual cooking right here while we show you movies and little vignettes and little cool things. So check us out. Right now though, we are coming to you from Edgar Winter's show, and we like to say a shout out to Edgar Winter and to all of his crew and staff and everybody there. So hello and everybody watching from Igor and my staff and my crew. So hi. Anyways, today we're going to talk a little bit about gas grilling and charcoal grilling and things like that, because it's now getting out of winter pretty soon. March is coming up, and April and all that, and everybody going to be breaking out their grills. So here's a few things that you might want to hang out and learn about doing with gas grills and with charcoal grills. And with a gas grill, the nice thing about the gas grill, of course, is that the entire cooking surface is an even surface. It cooks the same anywhere on there. There's no highs and low points. Sometimes there's like little shelves that you can get away from the heat and to keep things warmer and things, but your cooking surface stays the same. Now with a charcoal grill, you can actually build your charcoal higher or lower in areas of your grill to get hotter and milder areas of cooking. So the hotter you want an area to go, then you can do that with your charcoal or your wood chips, whatever you're using to cook with. When you're cooking meat, steaks or chops, whatever, you want to marinate your meat or your chops or whatever for 24 hours. Always marinate your meat because it makes the meat much more easy, nicer to cook, and it always comes out more flavorful when you marinate and makes them juicier and stuff. So you always want to marinate when you do that, when you do cooking on the grill, and even when you're cooking inside, it's good to marinate your meats and such. When you take it out of the refrigerator from marinating, you want to let it stand for about an hour or so to get to room temperature, because it will cook better when it is room temperature. Just so you know that. And I don't know if you know that or not, but if you don't know it, you do now. Anyways, so when you're cooking fish on the grill, you always want to use a spatula and never tongs, because if you use tongs, you'll be squeezing the fish and it'll be coming apart and falling apart on you and all. You don't want. You'll use a spatula to do that. With fish, when you're cooking it, we have what's called a 3-second rule. And what you do is you place your hand above the heat, a few inches above the heat, like so. If you can hold your hand there for 3 seconds without having to take it away because it's hot, then if you can leave it there for 3 seconds, it's just about right. If you leave it longer than 3 seconds, it's not hot enough. And if you put your hand there and you're like, oh, I can't do that, it's too hot. So that's a little bit the way to find out whether or not that's called the 3-second rule, and it actually works well. So remember that. Just don't burn yourself trying to, I can do it, I'm a man. Don't do that. Okay, so anyways, try that out. With your fish like your tuna and your mahi-mahi and your swordfish, these are really good fish to use on the grill because they are firm fish and they are, good chunk fish that you can cook on the grill without having any problems with. When you get down to your trout and your cod, your tuna, things like that, your lighter stuff like that, bass that flake, then you want to leave the skin on and cook with the skin on it, because otherwise when you go to pick it up to turn it, and it's going to all fall apart in your grill. And believe me, your grill's not really that hungry, so you want to do that. So always squeeze a little lemon juice on there, gives it a little more acidity, cooks really nice, gives it a little flavor, and it also keeps the color nice on the fish as well. So that's pretty much what we're going to what to tell you a little bit about today. I was actually on a fish diet for a while, and that's what I was eating was fish, baked and broiled and whatever on fish and stuff. But you know what? When I'm on a diet, I get drained. I get so tired all the time. So I went to my doctor. I'm like, doctor, why am I so tired all the time on this diet? He says, I don't know. He says, I'd give you some pep pills to keep you pepped up. But the only problem is now I just eat faster. Anyway, this is Igor, and we are here with you doing cooking tips as we do from time to time. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you learned something. We hope you will use this when you're doing your cooking and stuff. Watch our shows and hang out with us as much as you can. Cooking is fun and it should be enjoyed. So we'll talk to you soon. This is Igor, and scare you soon. So we're back into the dungeon here in we're doing Igor's Morbid cooking lessons, and today showing you the little vignettes and stuff, so I hope you're enjoying that as well. And we're making chicken soup. And chicken soup, of course, goes back long, long ways. You know, Mom made it, and Grandma made it, and, you know, Bubby made it, and you know, everybody makes it, their kind of soup. But they usually like to make it when you're not feeling well. Because they always say that chicken soup is good for you when you are sick. And I tell you what, it is true. When you are sick, chicken soup actually does help you. Now, if you go online, and you know, everything that's online is true, but this is actually true. There are many, many doctors who have done studies about it and everything else, and the chicken soup is actually good for you when you're sick. Not only is it have like garlic in it and onions and herbs and things like that that are known to help you when you're sick, and even if it's psychosomatic, even if you just you know, think that chicken soup makes you feel better, you always feel a little better when Mom brings you a bowl of chicken soup and you're sick. So anyways, but on top of that, when you have chicken soup and it's piping hot and all those steam is going up into you, you're breathing it in and everything, it helps clear your nasal passages and makes you feel better that way. And it also helps flushes out all the bad germs and things that are in you, and brings up your white blood cell count. It's very good for you. Chicken soup is. Other soups is good too, but today we are focusing on chicken rice soup because it's good for you. And so we're going to get into the ingredients for the soup and everything that we are putting into it. So come on over here, and we are going to show you exactly what we use when we make chicken soup for your soul.
That caloric culprit.
Okay, everybody, these are the ingredients that we are going to be using for our soup. And it starts out with chicken. There's about 2.5 to 3 cups of diced chicken meat that we've already cooked. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. We've got some white pepper, minced garlic. We've got onions and celery. We've got some fresh parsley in here. We've got 2 different kinds of rice. We're going to use a box rice today. Dirty rice and a jambalaya mixed rice, because it's going to be a little on the spicy side. We're going to be using corn, carrots, and peas also in there as our vegetables. We've got some Red Ghost buffalo sauce, and we're going to put that in there, and that's going to make it a buffalo chicken soup, along with some red pepper sauce. And then we've got some dried herbs also, some oregano and basil and such. And we're going to be chopping the celery and doing all this other stuff in just a minute. So those are our ingredients. And come back over and join me on the counter for some chopping. Before we put the chicken in here earlier and we cooked the chicken down. We just basically, what we do is we cooked it in water, regular old plain water. And we added some garlic into the water. And I put in some of the dried herbs in there as well. So that's pretty much all that you really need to do when you do that. And so now that we have the stock and it's nice and hot, and we're going to add the chicken in. So there goes the chicken. Woohoo! And this chicken isn't all it was cracked up to be.
Wrongful ruin.
Anyways, so then we're going to put in the peas.
That caloric culprit has got something cooking.
And I'll use about a cup of those. And the same with the carrots. And we're going to put in about a cup of those too. So we're going to have a little bit left over, no big deal. Same with the celery. We're not going to put it all in. We're just going to put in about half of what we chopped, half of an entire stalk there. And the corn, we're going to put about half of the corn in as well.
Give it up.
We have a little bit more of that because the pot is kind of smallish, you know. So, and same with the onions. And we put in about half of those, a little bit more than half of those. And then now for the fun part, and I just going to eye this, but you want to put about 1.5 tablespoons if you're using Red Ghost. Red Ghost is the brand name that I use, and I know, sorry, no commercials. Anyways, this is very good, very spicy. It's made with the ghost chili pepper, so it is kind of spicy, but it's not too bad. So you just want to use about that much, which is about 1 tablespoon, maybe 1.5 tablespoons, little bit. Okay, then we've got our red pepper sauce. You can use regular hot sauce if you like. And I use probably about 5 dashes of that. And then what you want to do is open up your boxes of your rice. And again, I use 1 box of dirty rice. And 1 box of the jambalaya rice.
Oh yeah.
This is just the seasoning packet right here. So the seasoning is going to go in there just like that. And then we put the rice in as well. And then we're going to open up.
I wonder what he's up to this time.
The other one. They make these kind of tricky for Igor. He's going to use his knife in a minute. But okay, there we go. And there we get the rest of the rice in there. So there's that. And the packets of... And like I say, this is going to make it a little spicy. If you don't like very, very spicy stuff, you can use any other kind of white rice mix that you'd like to use. But it's buffalo chicken soup, so you want to use some spicy stuff in there a little bit. You can use the regular rices.
I can't take this any longer.
Or any other kind of rice on the market. You could even use like the broccoli type rice or whatever, but you know, I would not recommend that. Okay, what you want to do then is you want to take and turn your heat up to about, if you have a number setting, to about 3, or a medium-low setting. And you want to stir this occasionally every 10 minutes or so.
That caloric culprit has got something cooking.
Oh yeah, that's some good stuff there. I'm thinking it's a good, nice, spooky, scary little thing. I hope you're enjoying everything today for it. We're going to be plating up our dish in just a moment. Just want to recap real quick there that you know, chicken soup is an institution, American
Do trout
institution.
have eyelids?
Wonderful dish. Everybody has their own different ways of doing it. This is a nice spicy variation on it, because if you've got the cold in there and you're smelling that buffalo sauce and everything and those nice spices, it's really going to unclog you, boy. I'll tell you that right now. Is chicken soup good for you? Not if you're the chicken.
Wrongful ruin.
But anyways, yes, it is. It's very good for you, and it's tasty. It helps you when you're feeling ill, and if then nothing else, you know, and when you're feeling great, you can make a sandwich to go along with it. And, make a little salad or sandwich and a little grilled panini bread or something like that. Some tuna melt, anything like that goes really great with a chicken soup. So we're going to move over here real quick, grab a bowl of it here, which Igor has put together for you, and
it's an old piece of gezelta fish.
here we go. This is a wonderful, wonderful dish. Look at that, all the colors. I mean, that right there looks appetizing, just seeing all of the colors in there. And so we're going to set that down for you here. And I just want to say that, you know, cooking is a wonderful passion. It's a lot of fun to do, and it's something that anybody can do, even if you say you cannot cook. You know, if you say that, you know, everything you make is a burnt offering or a bloody sacrifice. No, you can learn, and it's easy to learn. It's easy to do. So take it from me, Igor. It's a lot of fun to do it, and enjoy the rest of the movie. And we will see you next time here on Igor's Morbid Cooking Lessons, where we bring you another great featurette along with a meal. So, ciao.
Even the man whose heart is pure and says his prayers at night can change to a wolf when the wolf moon comes and the full moon shining bright.